And Angel AI, she will talk to you like a friend, and you ask her financial questions. You can ask her, can you get me qualified for a mortgage? Can you, one of the things that does is repair your credit. It's so accurate, right? Whatever it tells you, I put my money behind it. So if it says, Dan, you're approved to buy this ranch for $10 million. And if it did the calculations wrong, or if it messed up and it wasn't supposed to say it, guess what? I would write you a check. I would anyways give you that loan for $100 million. All right. So there's a warranty that comes with it. So we're the only financial services company that can issue a warranty like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Money Mondays and Happy New Year! This episode is coming out right around the first week or second week of January, so I'm very excited to be here with you guys in 2025. This should be episode, I think, 103 or 104, which is very exciting that we're over 100 episodes, and you guys have been there every step of the way. Out of those 102, 103 weeks, we've been top 10 for 95 of those weeks, and top 100 of all podcasts on the planet every single week after the third week because of you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, etc. It's really important to us when you can do those things because, as you notice, we've been running this for ad-free for over 100 episodes now. So on the Money Mondays, as you guys know, we cover 3 core topics: how to make money, how to invest money, how to give it away to charity. You might hear noise in the background because we are inside of an RV motorhome right this second at Black Site Ranch, or better known as the Wild Jungle. This podcast will be under 40 minutes, between 33 and 38 minutes for your listening pleasure, because the average workout is 45 minutes. The average commute to work is 45 minutes. So we're going to keep this episode under 40 minutes so you listen to the whole thing, because part of the reason on our rankings is because we have a 93% listen through rate for you guys. That's why I like to tell people what you're in for. How long is this going to be so you can make decisions on your timing and travel schedule. All right. Without further ado, our guest today has built major companies in very, very different categories, from the mortgage industry to AI. So we're going to have a lot of fun here today, going through asking very specific questions about investing, building businesses, philanthropy, etc. So without further ado, Pavan, if you can give your quick 2-minute bio so we can get straight to the money.
Immigrant, came here when I was little, and my father was in real estate, so we bought and sold real estate. I cleaned the toilets, painted the house, mowed the lawn, did everything back when we were kids. And then we started a mortgage company, and I started building technology. And he commissioned me at 11 to build all the technology for the mortgage company. And that's what I did. I was good at math, I was good at algorithms and seeing patterns where there aren't any patterns. And that kind of leads right into AI, because that's what machine learning is all about, is patterns, pattern recognition. And so it's really, it's the mortgage and the AI, as you said, it was 2 different companies. And in a way, in my perspective, is the mortgage company is a subset of the AI company, right? It's a byproduct of good AI. And so we formally incorporated the AI company in 2012, 2013.
Oh, wow.
Right.
People couldn't even spell AI back then.
Yeah. Well, AI has been around since the 50s,
yeah.
and I can make the argument that the Enigma machine used in World War II is AI, but we digress.
Rabbit hole.
We digress, yes. So in 2013, we moved to Puerto Rico from California. I grew up in SoCal, went to UC Irvine, and we moved to Puerto Rico, and we incorporated the AI company in Puerto Rico because it's just an incredible tax structuring. And the best place in the world to start a tech company, because, as you know, tech companies are all about capital gains. And when you incorporate in Puerto Rico, there's no capital gains. So definitely think about that. Right? You guys listening and starting a tech company and so forth, amazing talent in Puerto Rico, and the tax structure is incredible. And here's amazing. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Puerto Rico government will give you 50% back. So every dollar you spent in R&D in Puerto Rico, you get 50 cents back from the Puerto Rico government.
50? 50?
50.
Whoa.
Right. So that's
all right, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah. Right. So literally, you don't have to go. Half your capital raise problem is solved simply by being in Puerto Rico.
It's fascinating.
Right. Because and just imagine, if you need $10 million, $5 million is coming from the government. Right? It's like, do it. It's like, it's there. Most people don't know about it. So I'm glad we're getting that message out.
Yeah.
And second, so when we moved to Puerto Rico, amazing tax advantage all around. But the most important thing, the biggest reason is like, hey, we're going to build this tech company. We're going to build it in Puerto Rico. And we hired, local Puerto Rico talent. And most of that, the real engineering behind Angel AI is built by the talent that we hired in Puerto Rico. And so it's been a long process. I mean, decades of data science, of building the knowledge base to drive the AI, followed by the engineering to get it to run, and then we did our first transaction through it in 2018. So nothing worthwhile is built overnight, right? So, and it takes a lot of patience, and you gotta fight through everyone who's telling you you're crazy. Everyone's telling you can't do it, and and in my life, it's kind of like, it's the experience I had was like, I'm always like thinking big. I'm always thinking, I remember my dad used to call me a dreamer when I was a kid, and I always just think like, we can do really big things. And the challenge is most people don't think big. And they're going to turn around and they're going to tell you that you're crazy or you're foolish, and why do you think you can do it, and so forth. And the ultimate reality is that as long as you don't fall into that trap, you can do it. Everyone can do it. And because most people fall into the trap of the naysayers, and that's, I think it's a shame. And I think the current pop culture education system doubles down on it, and most kids are discouraged. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy, not Guardians of the Galaxy, the other one,
The Avengers.
No, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's the one I was thinking about, where if you have an original thought, it slaps you, right? And that's the system. Kids are slapped for having original thoughts. Kids are slapped for thinking they can do anything. And if we just think out of the box and say, no, you can do anything, and just pursue it, right? Most of the time you'll actually succeed if you actually just stick with it.
So let's first start on the mortgage side of things. So I just got in the mortgage space this year with our mutual friend Joseph Shalaby. Talk us through. I just started this year. You've been doing it for decades.
Yeah. Right.
Why is the mortgage space important, and how do loan officers, are they making money out there? Like, tell us about loan officers, because a lot of people have been messaging us about working in the loan officer space, and I want to be able to explain to them: is it good? Is it exciting? Is it worth it?
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Right. Now the thing is, like, for a couple of years, especially, I mean, most of 2020, right, since 2010 to 2020 was a good time for loan officers because interest rates were low, the real estate market was booming, and then in the COVID period it was amazing. I mean, I think we did $5 trillion in 1 year of business. So literally, if you had a license, you were made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, without any effort. You didn't have to know anything. You just, because there was
just picking up the phone, everyone was calling you.
Right. And so that spoiled the industry. People thought,
it's easy. I'm supposed to make $200,000 a year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people were making $1 million a year without very little training and experience and ability. They were just making a lot of money. And then, of course, everything suddenly, as quickly as it turned on, it turned off just as fast. And now we're back to a real world mortgage industry, which is a lot of hard work, right? Which is consistency, following up with your clients, staying in, making yourself relevant, marketing yourself, differentiating yourself, right? The basics of any business, right? It's what made you successful, what makes all the businesses you own successful, is because they spend so much time defining who they are and communicating that. And that's the key for a loan officer. You have to define who you are, you have to communicate that, you have to have continuous, clear communication with your clients, pick up the phone, answer those emails, read every email, understand it, pay attention, be a professional, right? It's hard work. And it's, 12, 18 hours a day of nonstop work. Right. And that's how you become a top producer. And in this market, there's top producers and there's no producers. There's nothing in between, right? And so, just you gotta get out of the delusion that there's easy money anywhere. There's no such thing as easy money. Right. Well, once in a while you get lucky, like a bunch of loan officers got lucky in 2020, 2021.
Sure.
But that some people just got in the business that time, just timed it right, got in and made a lot of money and got out. Okay, that's like winning the lottery, right? But in life, most of the money is made by just staying consistent,
Sure.
and just keep doing it and keep doing the hard work, and then just wait for the when it rains, just wait for it to rain, and then you catch all you can at that point.
Like Bitcoin,
right.
waiting for
Right.
a decade.
Yeah,
And it finally hits it.
Exactly.
Okay, on the AI space, as you mentioned, AI has been around for decades and decades and decades. Why do you think that now, this last 2 years in particular, that it became all the rage? Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's thinking about it. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a month is being invested into the category from venture capital, Silicon Valley, and Wall Street. Why do you think so much money, time, and energy is finally going to AI this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like I said, the first AI, fully driven AI loan product that we did was in 2018. And in 2018, my concept for what we're doing was always been like, since like mid 2000, I saw that the only real future is chat. And because I looked at my kids don't want to be on the phone. They don't want to do anything. They communicate everything through chat. And I said, whatever the kids are doing, that's the reality. That's the reality. That's what's going to be. Right. And so my whole vision of this was, I want a consumer to go in and talk to my system through chat and get everything done on a chat interface. Right. So we've been building that out. And it's complicated to do something as data intensive as a mortgage, and as complex and so many things can go wrong in that process. To do it entirely by chat is very hard and very complicated. So we rolled this out in 2018 and then we were laughed at, because that was back when Facebook's metaverse was going to take over. It's like everyone's like, what are you doing? Yeah. Chat is old stuff, old technology. What are you guys doing investing so much money in chat when everyone thinks everyone's headed to 3D virtual reality? And I'm like, no, like that's not gonna, my vision of that's not gonna take off, because kids don't want to wear goggles around the whole day long. Right. Kids like it quick and fast. So while we were doing that, then all of a sudden ChatGPT came out, right? And it was like 3 years ago now, where it hit the scene with 3.0. And it's suddenly now chat and the whole idea of talking to an AI got into people's consciousness. So I thought it was like tremendously helpful. And so let's talk about what makes ChatGPT possible. Why did ChatGPT suddenly come to the scene, and other similar, and I noticed you have some llamas out there, and that was llama 3.3, I think. So why did ChatGPT why was it even possible? And a lot of people don't realize that the real breakthrough didn't come from OpenAI. The real breakthrough came from a paper that Google published in, I think, 2015, and it's called "Attention is All You Need." Okay, and that was a breakthrough in how to do language processing specifically, but I think in general applies to most complex problems that an AI would have to deal with. And it cut out most of the overhead of processing a large amount of data. And so with that breakthrough paper, and then OpenAI applied it extensively, and then created ChatGPT 1, 2, and then 3. And 3 was actually good enough to capture the imagination of the larger market. And so it took that final packaging of the science that's been developing for so many years. I mean, if you think about 2015, the paper comes out, and it was 2020, 2021 when ChatGPT 3.0 came to the scene, right? Look how long it takes. Yeah. Technology doesn't happen overnight. Right. It feels, when you're the consumer of it, you suddenly see, oh, there's a new thing called ChatGPT. No, it take a long process before it's actually relatable. When you can take science and make it relatable, where people can understand it in an everyday way, it's a big investment, just like with Bitcoin. That's the paper, original Satoshi. Before Satoshi paper, there was another paper that defined the whole idea of decentralized ledgers, and then that one failed. There was another coin that came out, it failed, and then Bitcoin came out, right? I mean, this is 20 plus years in the making.
Right.
Right. It doesn't happen overnight.
Nope. I remember I was installing the very first Bitcoin ATMs into casinos back in 2014. And it was $340 for Bitcoin at the time. And trying to explain to the governor, the mayor, casino owners why they should have a Bitcoin ATM. They thought I had 3 heads, right? Trying to explain it back then. It was a company called RoboCoin, but it ended up selling.
Yeah.
Those ATMs are now everywhere, right? They're in gas stations, liquor stores, malls, etc. Okay. So on the investing side of life, you have a lot of options. Why spend so much time investing into the AI space? Like, why do you invest your money, your time, and your energy into the AI category?
Well, actually, I invest a lot of my money in real estate. I love real estate. Because remember what I said in the beginning, we grew up as kids cleaning houses and buying, mostly buying and sometimes selling, but mostly buying and holding.
Nice.
And, there's a few times where I looked at where you owned a property. I said, this property is too much trouble, and I sold it. And I went back and I said, I never should have sold it.
Never should have sold it. So funny, before you go on. So the one thing, the recurring theme here, every time I interview someone in the real estate category, their only regret in life is selling.
Yeah.
No matter what. Commercial, residential, Airbnb, rental, blah, 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 blah. Selling.
Right.
Because they bought it for 400 grand. It went up to 600 grand. Woohoo, they crushed it. They got 50%. That 600 grand is worth $1 million now.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought this building for $6 million. I sold it for $8 million. I'm a genius. It's worth $11 million now.
Yep.
Their only regret ever, every single time, is selling. All right, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, we were in the mortgage business in 2008 when home prices in California fell 50%, 60%, right? And I remember you go through Laguna Niguel, Laguna Hills, right? And those $1 million, $2 million homes were selling for $600,000.
Wow.
And people were walking away from their mortgages.
Another $8 million.
Yeah, exactly. And I was advising those homeowners, like, if you can
bear it through it.
If you can bear through it, I mean, it's like, don't get caught up in the momentary, I can rent for less now. Right. It's like
you live on the side of a mountain overlooking the ocean.
That and look at the overall macroeconomics. There's a fixed amount of land, right, and population keeps rising, right. And then you have to understand why it crashed, right? It crashed because of a sudden dry up of credit. There was no buyers because no one could borrow money. Right, credit disappeared overnight. I said, that's going to get fixed. The government is pouring so much money at it; it's going to get fixed. I said, you should go out and buy.
They want to loan you expensive money, I promise.
Right, and that's what that's what my family did. We went and bought a lot of real estate from 2008 to about 2012. It was the best buys ever.
Right.
We were getting, like, at land cost. I mean, zero value given to the improvement. It's like, this is like no brainer. Just buy as much as you can. All right. So, and recently we just bought a bunch of property in Texas. A lot of low-income housing. Bought some in Oklahoma. It's just amazing. It's great returns. It's a lot of work.
Sure.
I spend a month in Texas driving around looking at real estate and talking to the neighbors and doing the math.
Yeah.
Right. But it's fun. It's fun work.
It's a game.
Right?
It's like real life Monopoly.
Right. Yeah.
So what Pavan just mentioned about the supply and demand was really interesting. There literally is no more beachfront property. If you think about it, there's no more beaches being made, just the way it is. And so beachfront property in this example, the reason it's going to keep going up is the supply does not grow, but the demand does. What's also interesting is, and especially somewhere like California or New York, certain areas, that we are a couple million units behind from apartments, houses, etc. And people are living a lot longer, and people don't talk about this part. Before, when we grew up, parents lived to around 73 to 75 years old. 75 for women, 73 for men. Now it's a lot higher at 81 and 83. But your children, if you're listening to this, are probably lived to over 100. Some of them 105, 110, 120, God bless them. Because when we grew up, every corner was 7-Eleven, Burger King, and McDonald's. Now there's Whole Foods, Erewhon, smoothies, cold plunges, saunas, mental health awareness. We didn't have any of that stuff growing up. We had burgers and smoothies and 64-ounce Slurpees. Right?
Plus now we got RFK running the FDA,
yes.
Which he's going to make America healthy again.
And we didn't have an Equinox in every corner and 24-hour fitness. Like, it didn't exist as kids. We had one gym that you might have to drive 15 miles to, and no one cared because there was no cell phones. Now everyone's obsessed with working out. So I say that because if your kid lives to 106, that's probably why this podcast exists. They have to invest. They have to own real estate. They have to have way more capital, because if they want to retire at 65 to 75, but they live to 106, They need 30 or 40 years of money saved up.
Yeah.
Where before, sad to say, you only needed like 5 or 10 years because people mostly passed away let's call it 73 to 83 years old. And so on the real estate side, if there's millions of units behind, and there's no chance of catching up, by the way, because there's not enough wood, not enough labor, not enough metal, not enough refrigerators and air conditioning units and little pieces of metal. Like there's so many things that are behind schedule or not coming for a lot of the construction companies. And a lot of construction companies went bankrupt during the shutdown as well. When you just compound all this together, there's no catching up for California and a lot of other cities of actually having enough units. Why does that matter to you? Well, supply is not growing fast enough while the demand keeps growing. What happens to the price? You've seen it happen with Bitcoin. You've seen it happen with real estate. And you're going to see it continue to happen with real estate simply because of supply and demand. Okay. When you decide, when people are approaching you for investing in real estate, investing in AI, investing in yourself and your businesses, how do you make a determination if someone wants to pitch you on a startup company or a business? Like, hey, we're doing $4 million in revenue. Would you invest $100K into our company? Like when someone's pitching you as an investor, what do you look for in an entrepreneur or in their business?
Well, real estate is really simple. Just look at the cap rate, and it's a simple math, and you know whether you need to. Whether it's a good trade or not. I mean, I don't ever invest in real estate saying with the hope that this is going to appreciate by 20% in the next so many years. I look at appreciation as a bonus. Okay, the cap rate, I look at minimum cap rate of 10%. If I don't get 10% cap rate, I'm not touching it, right? Because a million things can go wrong, right? For every if you buy 10 properties, one of them could be a total write-off because of some insurance problem, lawsuit, whatever, right? So you got to always have that cap rate. So that's simple thing on real estate. On investing outside of real estate, I like to invest in things I control. So that basically boils down to my own companies, and I put the money in, and
betting on you.
Yeah. Well,
and
I mean,
team.
and if I look at it, a good trader should always look at the situation impartially, dispassionately, right? So even when I was trading my own assets, I'm looking at the asset, my company or whatever the business model is. I have to look at how does the business model stand on its own, right? And so like with my AI company, I'm looking at the business model is, hey, we're gonna lift 2 billion people across the world out of that are unbanked today into forget banking, straight into the decentralized economy, and get them financially fluent and financially educated, right? And I'm looking at it as a huge potential, and I look at the tech. I look at the tech. I look at my engineering team's capability. Look at the tech. Look at the vision. I say, hey, this is going to work, and it is working. And it's not like pie in the sky, right? I see a lot of mistakes, and very smart people, very capable executives have made big mistakes in buying companies, because they get enamored by the excitement, right? They get enamored by the potential, what can be, and without taking a hard look at what it is, right? So so like the famous example is like Quaker Oats buying Snapple for $1 billion, which was a $900 million write-off, right? Because they got so excited about, I want to be in the beverage industry, and I think Snapple is the next Coca-Cola killer, right? And they overpaid for it, right? And so you got to always keep your emotion checked. That's why you got to look at your trade ideas, what you're investing, what you're buying in, completely without emotion, and just look at the deal as is, right?
So on your hat and on your shirt, it says Angel AI. Please explain, what is that company? Why is it important? Why are you branded head to toe with Angel AI?
Well, first of all, if you believe in your brand, you better wear it all the time.
I love it.
That's number one. I mean, you got to be all about your brand. And so I wear it all the time. My kids wear it. You saw my son, right? My wife wears it. Everyone in my family wears it. And people like passion. If you're not passionate about your brand, right? And sometimes I get some people will mock me, like, come on, guy, give it up. But once in a while, I'm like, I love what I do, right? Yeah. I wear it because I just love it, and I think the brand is cool. I mean, I truly believe the brand is like super cool. So be proud of it, right? And again, that goes back to what I said in the beginning: is there's too many people who's going to say you're being, whatever, you're overthinking stuff. So anyway,
So what is it? What does it do?
oh yeah, I forgot the question.
You love it. Now tell us how, so we can love it too. See how much he loves it.
Yeah. So what it's very simple. Like you simply chat with it, okay, and it's just like chatting on WhatsApp with your best friend, except you chat to Angel through the Angel AI app, and Angel AI, she will talk to you like a friend, and you ask it financial questions. You can ask her, can you get me qualified for a mortgage? Can you one of the things that does is repair your credit, which is an amazing story of people. Many people have used it, and credit repair isn't just for low-income people. It isn't just for people who don't know how to manage their credit, but everyone can use it because it's a personal assistant. Like my own story is like, years ago before I had Angel AI, one of my properties had a cable box, and that canceled, and they said don't return the cable box. And next thing I know, I got a collection of my credit report.
Of course.
Right. And
$184.
Right. So
credit goes down.
Yeah, exactly. So then I gave it to my accounting department, and a human being dealt with the cable company, went back and forth.
Hours.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now, if that happened to me today, I would just tell Angel, take care of that, and the AI will go nonstop, relentlessly after the creditor.
Yeah.
In that case was the cable company, until it was resolved.
Nice.
Right. So another example is Sugar Shane Mosley, and I know you know him well as well. He was on a flight with me before we released it to the general public. We were on a flight together, and I was telling him, hey, we got this great new product coming out, it's credit repair and so forth. And I told him how it worked, and this guy's made hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, he's a very wealthy man, and he pays everything cash, right? Because he doesn't like to deal with creditors, and the reason is because they messed around with him in the past, and then they messed up his credit. So when he heard about this, he on his own went into Angel AI and told Angel what the problem was, and she repaired his credit. His credit score went up to like 700 now, and he told me. And I met him a few months later, and he said it worked. I said, what worked? I said, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, and he's like, I went into Angel AI and it fixed my credit, and it was so easy.
Wow.
Right. So I mean, that's a true story. I mean, it's not. He's a true customer. I didn't pay him to do that. It's just like it does it. So people going in, getting the credit repaired, they ask for a mortgage approval. It gives you a mortgage approval on the spot, right? And whatever it tells you, like it's so accurate, right? Whatever it tells you, I put my money behind it. So if it says, Dan, you're approved to buy this ranch for $10 million. I don't know how much you paid for it, probably more than $10 million. But if it says, Dan, I'll give you a loan for $10 million to buy this ranch, and if it did the calculations wrong, or if it messed up and it wasn't supposed to say it, right? You've all heard about AI hallucinations, right? Right.
Yes.
When AIs go off the rail and say silly things, right? Okay, well, this AI doesn't hallucinate. So if she did, if Angel if Angel AI hallucinated and says, Dan, here's $100 million, here's $100 million loan, and if she did, guess what? I would write you a check. I would anyways give you that loan for $100 million. Right. So there's a warranty that comes with it. So we're the only financial services company that can issue a warranty like that, because every other bank or financial services company you use, mortgage company, whatever, you don't know whether the money will be there until the money is there. That's why any financial transaction is so stressful, right? Because if you go to buy a house, you put $10,000, $20,000 deposit, right, escrow deposit, and you don't know, like, if the loan doesn't come through, it's gone. Right. So, or you write a purchase contract with the contingency, right? And now, if you're the seller of the property, one guy says, I'm going to pay all cash, no contingency, and another guy says, I'm going to pay you more. Maybe I'm 10%. I'm going to pay you 10% more than the guy with all cash, but I have a contingency for the loan. The seller is more likely going to go with the all cash offer because he knows it's going to close, right? And so what happens in the market is, like, lower income people, people who need government financing like FHA and VA loans, especially veterans, right? They get discriminated against because the cash buyer wins, right? And so low income people get shut out of the housing market. Okay, but however, if you went into Angel, If you went to Angel AI and asked for an approval, she gives you an approval. That approval comes with a warranty. So now you can make that offer, right? You could have a 580 credit score FHA borrower, right, working 2 jobs, just enough to make the mortgage payment, right? And you'll get that warranted approval, so you can make that offer with no loan contingency. Okay, so now you're same as cash. Okay, and so this is like opens the door wide open for a lot of communities that have been left behind. So as a result, we've published our data for the last several years, and we've we've doubled the approval rates effectively, right? So what we can demonstrate now, we have the data that says our approval rates for Black borrowers and veterans and Hispanic borrowers are almost the same, and in some cases the same as the approval rates for white borrowers across the country, right? So we literally, like, I think Black borrower approval, were like 1 out of 3 Black borrowers were being declined, and after 1 out of like 5 white borrowers are being declined. Okay, and after applying Angel AI, it went from 1 out of 3 Black borrowers to 1 out of 5, just like white borrowers, right? So so the impact, the social impact is amazing.
So are there companies that partner with it, or is it like, tell me through like the business side of it. Is it all consumer based, or should businesses be utilizing as well to offer service, or is it all consumers coming on and downloading the app?
Well, it's consumer based, and it also, we work through other lenders.
Got it.
Okay, so if you're a mortgage broker, you can, and I know Joe Shelby's company uses it a lot, because they work with the consumer, and then they use Angel AI, and then you can broker it, and it comes in through my finance company.
Perfect. Okay.
Because here's the beauty of Angel AI, anyone can use it. So any lender, any bank can use it, right? But if you want that 100% trusted warranty, right, then you deliver it through Angel to my finance company, because the warranty is only good if the loan comes here.
Can back it up. Got it. All right. So let's talk about the philanthropy side. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that companies or even households should have a philanthropic, like a charity component to their lives?
Well, I have a much broader view of philanthropy. I think philanthropy should be a part of everything we do every single day, right? So it is how we exist. And so you should start by, if you're going to be in business, your answer to why am I in business shouldn't be because I want to get rich and I want to ranch like Dan. That I guarantee you, if you go into business with that mindset, you're going to fail. Yeah. Right? And well, there's some people who don't, but they usually don't do anything worthwhile. Right? So if you need to go into business with who I'm going to help and how am I going to help them, right? And how can I give them the maximum value, the best economics to my customer? Because if you can deliver the best economics to your customer and give them a service and a product that is not generally available in the market, okay, you've achieved one of the major goals of philanthropy, right? And business philanthropy, I think, is the best form because it's never ending circle, right? So for example, that's why with Angel AI we give credit repair for free, right? I mean, it's credit repair services cost like $200 a trade line and stuff like that. I mean, it's awful. The people who, and usually people who end up paying those kinds of money for credit repair, they can't afford it. Sure. As it is what got them in trouble, right? And so we basically offer free. The only thing you pay for is the cost of the credit report, like our actual expenses, but the whole thing is free. So now that's a form of philanthropy because I'm just literally helping a lot of people. Right? And I get nothing out of it. I did a big investment in building the AI to do it, but I'm not getting any direct immediate result. But what I am acquiring is I'm investing in the relationship, right? I'm investing in my customers, right? And we'll eventually build a big ecosystem, right? And the same thing next thing we're rolling out is very, very low cost payday loans, right? So payday loans are are insane. Again,
Of course.
they're like 200%,
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes 600% effective interest rates, right? And for people with modest means, like people who can't really afford that, so they're trapped in the clutches of these money traders, and they can never get out. They never get out of that poverty. They're always paying the interest and never saving money. So I said, you know what, the AI can do the whole thing. I'm investing one time to build the AI. That's an investment. I'm going to deliver payday loans at very low interest rates, right? Which is basically, my cost to borrow the money from the banks plus the risk of default. So it's very, very low, right? So now I can. So I don't plan on making any profit on that service. Okay, so we can lend money out, not make any profit, okay, and immediately lift a lot of people out of poverty. And the other thing that we're going to do with our payday loans is when you get a payday loan through Angel, you're going to get your credit built because we will report it to the credit bureaus as a positive trade line, right? So a lot of the reason you're getting payday loans because you don't have the credit. Right? And if you don't have credit, you can't get regular financing, right? So we're actually creating this sort of stair step, right? Give you the tools, give you the education, because Angel AI has a big education component. You can ask all kinds of financial questions, and then get the assistance that you need, right? So that's so philanthropy is integrated into our business model. We start by giving and building relationships and helping, right? And we invest in you. We help you rise up, above your current economic situation. And then, so, let's say you're a wage earner and you're living on payday loans today. I get you into a low cost lending system. Now you're actually saving money instead of paying all your savings into a money lender. And then you go from saving money, right? Now you built up enough, and you're building credit. Now you've saved up enough money for a down payment, which, by the way, a lot of people don't realize you can. And right now we have programs in 49 states or 48 states where you can literally buy a house with no down payment, like zero down. Right? I mean, it's incredible, and people don't know about it. And so, but you just need some credit, right? So we help you build a credit. We help you clean up your past debts, and now you're ready to buy a house, right? And now instead of burning all this money in rent and whatever, now you actually, we're going back full circle. Now you own real estate, right? And you're getting wealthy, right? So and that's a full economic system, full cycle, right? Start from point A to get you to, point Z, right? And one platform to get you there. Right. And that's the story of my family's life. Right. I mean, when we came, literally my dad had $100. Right. And the reason he had $100, because that's all the Indian government would let you exchange at that time. Right. Right. So you come to the country with $100 and, fortunately, by God's grace, he got into real estate.
Sorry. So for the last question, I ask this every time and I've never, ever gotten the same answer. And I can already feel I'm not going to get the same answer right now. So 100 years from now, 200 years from now, however long it takes for you, Pavan finally, sadly, passes away. Yeah. But Angel AI, mortgage company, become worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. What percentage do you leave to your children?
It's, I don't even think about that. I don't leave it to, I'll put it this way. Whatever we have, whatever you have, whatever I have, whatever anybody, whatever you have, right? None of this belongs to you, right? It doesn't belong to, it belongs to God, and we're just stewards, right? So who's going to run it? Who's going to manage this opportunity once I'm gone? It's going to be who's the best capable of managing it, right? It may be my kids, may not be my kids. I don't know yet, right? So it's because if someone can't manage it without and continue to grow it in a way that it continues to help more people and keep the underlying basic philosophy that you got to start by investing and helping, right? Then what's the point? of all this, right? So part of my job as a steward, as like God is giving me this, right? Not because I'm smart or anything, is He's giving this because for whatever reason He's decided I'm a capable steward, right? So my job is to give it to the next person who's a capable steward. So, I don't know if that answers your question.
Definitely not the same answers. Yeah. Okay, so tell us where can they find Angel AI? Where can they find you? Where can they find the mortgage company? Tell the listeners where they can find all your stuff.
It's really simple. Just go to angelai.com, ANGELAI.com, and right there on the top, you can just ask her a question. And if you want to find me, you can just, the first question you can ask her is connect me with Pavan.
Oh, cool.
And she'll send me a text message that somebody wants to talk to me.
That's so fun.
Right. So,
all right, guys. This is one of those episodes where you're going to want to listen to twice because there's things that he was breaking down that are very different than most of our episodes. Yeah. Check out Pavan across social media. Check out what he's doing with Angel AI. And it's not just for you. You're going to have friends, family members, coworkers, etc., whether it's now or in the future, that may need the service or may want to talk to the angels and find out things about the financial markets. So check out the app, check out Pavan, and most importantly, have discussions with your friends, family, and followers about money. We grew up thinking it's rude to talk about money, but obviously we now know it's rude to not talk about it. We have to understand debt, finances, taxes, bank accounts, how to manage a checkbook. What is it? Does a checkbook even exist anymore? Should I do auto payments? Should I rent? Should I lease? Should I buy? There's so many questions that we have, and we all thought it was rude to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. It's just part of reality. It's a part of our day-to-day that we have to be able to pay for things. We have to pay for bills. We have to be able to save up money. We have to understand our credit scores and debt and FICO and all those things. We have to discuss it. And that's why it's very important for you to share this podcast, discuss it with your friends. Check out Pavan, Angel AI, and we will see you guys next Monday on themoneymondays.com.